All right, guys, we've left Expo Pacific Northwest and we are now heading south down back towards California. I'm with George, is in the lead vehicle. Behind him is Justin Pitcairn. Justin has a great Instagram channel. I'll leave a link for that. He has a YouTube channel. I'll leave a link for that as well. Justin and I met up years ago with the 395 Junkie trip. He used to have a JK like mine, same year. Now he has an Ineos Grenadier, which is beautiful. And that was one of the cool things about Expo this year. They were all over the place, the new Ineos Grenadiers. So, yeah, so we're all going to be camping at the same spot we camped last year with Marco from Overland X and George and Nathan from Stinger Off-Road. But this year is going to be a little bit larger group. Greg Trail Newbie's already there. He's secured the camp spot. And then the word on the street is Brad from Trail Recon's going to be there. Marco Overland X will be there. And then another friend of Marco's is coming in. I think they all have trailers with them. So going to be really fun, man. Meeting Brad is always, and I've met Brad, but camping with Brad has always been a bucket list for me. So can't wait to see these guys again and camp out, and it's a beautiful spot, so stay tuned.
The drive down Highway 97 from the Overland Expo event was not bad other than getting through initial traffic leaving the event on Sunday afternoon. George, Justin, and myself headed south, and after some time we turned off the highway so that Justin, who is an awesome photographer, could capture some epic views of Mount Shasta in the distance. It was amazing to see how much snow was still covering Mount Shasta in late June, and with crystal clear skies it made for a beautiful sight. Before long we were back on the highway trying to reach our final destination before nightfall.
Alright guys, we're almost at camp, but boy, this road we're on, which is just a forestry road, it is dusty, man. I'm losing Justin in front of me here, and he's only like 50 feet ahead of me. Just complete blackout. Thankfully he has a rear light on, and I have my forward-facing orange amber lights on, but wow, it is one dusty road, man. Gotta close the window here. But yeah, crazy. But we're almost at camp. I don't know if Greg got the drone up. We asked him to, but man, the communications right now are a little iffy in here. So over here we have Bust to Beat George. Next to him is Brad with Trail Recon. Over here we have Marco, Overland X, and his friend Lalo, who has a channel. Justin Pitcairn, who is I think on Instagram and maybe YouTube. I'll make sure to note that. And Greg Trail Newbie. But Lalo has a YouTube channel, 4x4 Life, that's in Spanish. So you guys should check that out. If you're multilingual, pretty cool. It's got a nice rig, man. This Gladiator is really nice. This Mojave with the trailer setup. Really cool. The trailer setup looks a little familiar. Marco with his new camper trailer, and my rig. We're all just kind of got to camp and getting set up for the night, but it's beautiful here, guys. It is absolutely gorgeous.
After getting to camp, we proceeded to get our rig set up for the night while fighting off ferocious mosquitoes that were nothing like the last time we were here. Regardless of the mosquitoes, I had to take a few minutes to try fly fishing this small creek. If you remember the last time I was here after Expo, I caught a small brook trout, so I wanted to see if I could do it again. But not so much luck this time in the few minutes I had before nightfall. Both George and Marco cooked up some great food for the evening, and like all campsites, we huddled around a propane fire pit as we talked into the night. It never ceases to amaze me the incredible people I have met overlanding, including subscribers, product and equipment vendors, and other YouTube and Instagram content creators. Just such an awesome community of people, and I could not think of a more beautiful place to spend time with good friends.
Well, good morning, guys. We are, let's see, on a Monday morning here. Expo is over. So Bus to Beat George and I and Justin came down from Expo yesterday, as you've seen in the video. And Greg was already here, trail newbie. He had secured the campsite ahead of time, so he'd left the event a little early. And then really just minutes after we arrived, Brad, Marco, and Lalo, Marco's friend, arrived as well. So yeah, we just got our camp set up last night. Obviously you can see it's a beautiful spot. Mosquitoes were definitely worse this year than last year. We camped here last year, guys, and it's still a gorgeous spot. This morning there's no mosquitoes, but last night there was definitely a heavy mosquito presence here. But really cool to, you know, camp with Marco again, and Marco's friend Lalo, as well as Brad and George and Greg. To have all of us here was really cool for me. And this is a pretty spot. I don't know if I'm going to have time to fish this today. We've got to talk with George because we've got a long drive to head south down the 395. I think we're going to try to head towards Mammoth Lakes. So we've got to make some decisions here this morning and talk about what we want to do. But looks like just a beautiful day. The sun's rising here to my right, and yeah, I'm just hoping we have a really cool day and get going on what we're doing here in the morning.
We should have room for everybody.
All right, so I think you know these guys. I have Marco and Lalo. Marco, what did you think of Expo this year? I asked you this last year, but I'm sure, you know, every year is a little different. We had some new things that arrived this year at this Expo. What did you think about it?
Well, beginning with the way there, we got this amazing camping spot from you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I want to thank you for that. It was amazing. Really good camping spot. And now you got us back here after a year. Yes. We met here a year ago.
I know.
PNW, I think, is my favorite venue. I like the vibe, and this year, I feel like there was less people, a lot less, but there were very interesting things, new products, and you know, and you get to see old friends and make new friends. It was awesome.
It was neat to see the Grenadier, Ineos Grenadier, I guess it is, and the new Land Cruisers was kind of cool.
Yes.
So some new vehicles, not a lot of new products, I would say, kind of a lot of similar things, but from last year. But yeah, I for like you, it's meeting the people is really cool, making new friends, and finding places like this
Yes.
as you go either up or back.
What I did notice is like full-size trucks. There's more of it.
Yeah.
Like big campers, and that was pretty neat.
Lalo, you have a channel that's called 4x4 Life, correct?
Yes, correct.
And it's a Spanish-speaking channel, is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah, very cool. And so, what did you think of Expo? Was this your first time, or have you been multiple times? Or
Well, it's my first time here in Oregon, and the first one, actually, the first one was in Arizona, Flagstaff, and it's way different. It's
Yeah.
more like here in Oregon, it's cleaner, less people, and but I noticed like a new companies, like small companies, like the guy with
The pants,
the pants,
yeah.
yeah, the people with for the dog lashes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And yeah, I noticed a lot of campers, the big trucks,
Yes.
and all that stuff, and I make a lot of good friends.
Yeah, isn't that
Pretty
cool?
good.
That's the coolest thing I think
Yeah.
about Overland Expo is meeting new people and making new friends. Yeah, well, that's great. I'm really glad to meet you, and hopefully maybe we catch a trip again together.
Yeah, of
And
course.
Marco, if you ever come back up to Northern California, you know I know some good spots.
I know, and I need to come, and we've been talking about this for a long time.
Maybe I get you on that river spot I just put out that video on. Take you there. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So-
It's beautiful.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for this interview, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Mike.
of course.
And so, George, I'm going to start with you real quick. Just what do you think about Overland Expo this year?
It was great. Weather was great this time around. It wasn't too hot, and it was great just being able to be with everybody,
Yeah.
connecting a username to a face or just meeting new people. It was great.
Yeah, there's some new vehicles too this year. We have new Land Cruiser, right, and the Ineos Grenadier at the show, which was fun. So, but I think just meeting the people there is also really cool.
That's personally my favorite part.
Yeah, it's a good community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Brad, man, you just took an epic trip to the Arctic. Tell us just a little bit about that, the highlights.
It was the trip of a lifetime. It's something I've been planning for years, and I've just kind of been putting off. And this year I was like, I'm going. And we went all the way up to the Arctic Ocean, all the way through Canada to Tuktoyaktuk. And it far exceeded my expectations. The trip was amazing. The scenery, the wildlife, rolling up to the Arctic Ocean at 11 o'clock at night. It's still daylight and it's frozen. It was surreal. So it was the trip of a lifetime. If anybody has the means to do that trip, they absolutely should do it.
How many days did it take you?
It was 29 days, and I didn't want it to end. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you both. It's really cool to be able to camp with both of you at the same time. It's like a bucket list thing that I can check off my list now. So thanks for being here, and hope to see you guys again soon.
Well, cheers, man. It was great hanging out with you at the campfire last night.
Thanks, Michael.
George, just got a little brookie, little brook trout. Oh,
Look at those
pretty
colors.
little guy. Oh, beautiful. Nice, buddy.
See you later, buddy.
Well, this will give you a perspective on kind of where we're camped, guys. Right on this beautiful creek. An old bridge, wooden bridge crossing over the creek. Just a beautiful area.
In the morning, Greg had to leave the group early, but not before I had a chance to ask him about his creative wheel blocks to level out his rig.
Well, guys, this is the sign of a true overlander.
Yes.
Because look what Greg was able to accomplish.
You know, I dragged that log out of the river. I'm gonna give you some B-roll of me doing that right now, and it's perfect. It's the perfect length, and my
Yeah.
hip is 0 on what is that called? Pitch and roll, right? My pitch is 0, my roll is 0. It's perfect. You got to be
Dude,
creative.
it's the sign of a true overlander. Greg has definitely got the creds now.
Yes, exactly. It's official.
All right, buddy.
All right, I'm gonna head out, brother.
Yep, safe trip back home,
Yeah,
Greg.
man. Good to see you, Michael.
Yep, bye-bye. See ya.
Not long after Greg left, the rest of the group was getting their gear put away for the long drive south down Highway 395.
All right, so we are headed out of that camp on the creek, and now we're headed towards Mammoth Lakes region. George has a spot. He thinks it's pretty nice on a lake in that region, and so that's where we're headed. And going with the whole gang here. So it's George, Marco, Brad, and Lalo, and myself. And as you saw, Greg had to leave. Bummer, but he had to get back to work. And so, but it's going to be us 5, I guess, heading out here. And so it's going to be mainly pavement for quite a while. So you'll see me again probably as we're getting close, or something more interesting happens along the way. So stay tuned. All right, quick update. We just gassed up in Juniper Junction, California, which seems like it's in the middle of nowhere, and it probably is. But the countryside around this area is just gorgeous to me. Just these rolling hills with brown golden grass around it, which I assume in springtime is just beautiful green everywhere, with so many trees dotting the hillsides. Really cool views right now, and I assume they're all junipers because we were in Juniper Junction. I assume that's the trees we're looking at. Just a gorgeous area, guys. I need to come up and explore this area because it is really pretty up here. So take a look at where Juniper Junction is, and man, I definitely have to explore this area. It looks like I'm about 60 miles from Susanville, just past a sign. So anyway, just thought I'd give you an update. We're still heading south towards Mammoth Lakes area.
During the drive south, we used our GMRS radios to communicate and stopped several times for gas. We did not end up exactly where we thought we would, and it definitely was not a lake. George had opted for another location he knew about in the eastern Sierras that was an absolute gem of a camp spot next to a mountain stream running strong from the snowpack runoff.
All right, guys, well, we've landed at our last camp spot for this trip, and it is epic in the greatest sense of the word. We are on a beautiful High Sierra stream here in the forest, fully shaded by huge trees around us. There's a giant sequoia up above us here, just a short ways up the trail. Must be 1,000 years old.
Just a beautiful, beautiful campsite. George already thinks he hooked into a fish on this stream, which is pretty cool. And so I can't thank George, Brad, Marco, and Lalo enough to invite me along on this trip. It's been epic for me. I've checked off multiple bucket list items, being able to hang with those guys, and they are truly great people. So thank you to you guys for inviting me along on this trip. Pacific North Expo was fantastic, and now I'll be able to hang 2 nights on two truly beautiful campsites. It was amazing. Tomorrow, George and I are going to go fish the Upper Owens River. George with a spin cast rod, me with a fly rod. Or we might fish here. I'm not real sure. We'll figure that out as we go along. So anyway, to wrap up, we're going to get going tomorrow. Me and George to go fishing. Brad, Marco, and Lalo heading home. So it's been a great trip, guys, starting with Pacific North Expo and then coming down here. It's just been fantastic. We've camped at some amazing places. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again. We spent another relaxing evening listening to the sounds of the nearby creek. We ended up going to bed early this last night as we were getting up before daylight to leave camp for the last time. Well, it is a beautiful morning in the Eastern Sierras, and George and I have left the camp and said goodbye to Brad, Marco, and Lalo. Such wonderful people, man. Just so cool to be able to camp with those guys. And so now we're off to the Upper Owens River, and George is behind me right now. I'm going to lead the way. But yeah, George is going to use his spin cast rod. I'm going to use my fly rod. We'll see who catches the fish first. Or maybe we don't catch fish. I don't know, man. That river, yeah, after you've seen the videos I've put out, I've caught some fish there. Other times I've caught nothing. So we'll see how it goes today, but it should be fun. We're going to spend a few hours on the river, and then we're going to both head home from there. So beautiful as we're heading into Mammoth here, and yes, stay tuned. We'll be on the river soon. All right, guys, so we've only done about 100 yards, and George is already complaining about the distance to the river. So
this is gonna be my yearly workout.
No, we're kidding. We're just joking around. Good thing about George is we get each other's sense of humor, I think, and so we have a lot of fun together.
Do we?
I don't know. Do we? But no, it's a beautiful day out here. But boy, the cows are sure mooing. There's a ton of them out here today. Crazy. And going with that is a ton of cow pies you have to be careful about walking on. That's why I have George walking in front of me. A beautiful day on the Owens, guys. I know you've seen me out here before in other videos. And my gosh, it's just a gorgeous river. And fish or no fish, it is an awesome place to hang out for a few hours and relax. So George and I are going to give it our best shot. As you've seen in prior videos, I either get nothing, or maybe I get a few, and sometimes, on very rare occasions, I get a lot. Fish on! No, that's a brown trout. Brown trout, little one, like 6 inches. All right, back to go. Tiny little guy.
You're doing it perfect. Perfect drift,
Just finesse
George.
it. Give it some love.
Give it some love there, baby. That was a good cast, right in a good spot there. Good cast, right against the bank. Just let it go. All right, George. Well, it was a tough day for the spin caster, right?
At least for me, yeah. It was a little challenging, but I need to get myself a new fly rod.
I know. It's
And I
too bad
think,
you didn't have the one you usually have.
I'll be able to cover more ground, but it was fun.
Yeah.
The wind, perfect.
Yeah.
weather.
Just look at where we are, guys. How can you beat this view out here with the Sierras in the background? But George, thank you again, man. It was so fun to hang out with you and see you at Expo and then go, camping with you for a few days.
Oh,
So I can't thank you enough, dude.
That
So
was great. Thank you all. Thank you again for all the tips on how to fly fish.
yeah, absolutely. We'll do it again, right?
Let's do it again.
All right. Thanks. All right, well, I am headed home after a long trip, and man, this has been one of the best trips I've ever had. Going first to Overland Expo, I just love it, and I plan to go every year. I love that location in Redmond, Oregon, just north of Bend. So I plan to go every year. I just love seeing the gear, seeing the vehicles, new equipment that's out. But it's really meeting the people that's so cool. Subscribers, or people maybe don't subscribe but they recognize you and want to talk to you, and the vendors, the other content creators. It's just a great get together, and so I really enjoy it. It's really fun for me. I plan to go for the indefinite future for me, and I hope the Redmond location makes it. It seems like there are fewer people there this year. I just hope we're able to make it relevant financially. And then the trip coming down, of course, camping with Brad and Marco and George, Greg, Trail Newbie. Boy, just had such a good time. We had 2 fantastic locations on the streams. And then the final day here, being able to fish the upper Owens with George. It just was a great day. Just a great day. So I am tired and I'm heading home, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you just do one favor, and that is to either like the video or leave a comment or subscribe, or best of all 3, would really be appreciated. And like I always say, hope to see you on the trail someday.